What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast, and I'm your host, John. On this episode, I want to talk about self-reflection. Now, for me, this is something I'm constantly doing. I'm constantly analysing myself, my actions, and my own life. Like, forever playing 10 steps ahead. But there's pros and cons to that. Like, there's benefits in playing the long game and trying to think things through as much as you can, and there's also benefits in catching yourself off guard and doing some stuff spur of the moment. But taking time to sit down and reflect back on yourself and what makes you happy and what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what makes you feel loved, like actually taking the time to sit down and try to understand yourself a bit. I mean, I know I'm forever changing, and what I think makes me tick one day ain't necessarily going to make me tick a year down the line. Like, I think understanding yourself is a constant journey, a constant changing picture, where the more you take time to study it, the more you'll find out. Like, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and all of the distractions, but to make your world smaller and sit down and take some time with yourself to understand yourself, I think can take you a long way. I know it does me, especially like doing this podcast, sitting down, trying to think about my life and how I process things and my own perspective on things. It helps me work through a lot of different things, and even when I'm sitting there just doing menial things or doing nothing, like my brain runs rampant. Like, there's a lot to life, but inevitably it's your life. So it starts with you. And the more you can understand yourself, the more you can understand life. Like, I think there's a lot that we're kind of relearning again out in the world. Like, there seems to be a lot of people coming out now spouting knowledge that they put across as if it's new knowledge, but it's just recycled stuff, or it's correcting lies that have been told in media and whatever other sources. Like, it's more of an unlearning or a relearning than learning new information. There's a lot of people that have kind of taken everything that they've been given as 100% value instead of figuring it out for themselves. And it leaves a lot of people lost, because when you're sold a web of lies and none of the lies pan out, eventually it all comes tumbling down. Like, taking the time to understand something for yourself rather than just being told it by somebody else is going to be far more valuable and far more informational than taking somebody's word. Taking the time to sit down with your own body and understand it, understand what makes you tick, from a nutritional perspective to a mental perspective to an emotional perspective. Like, understanding yourself in all of your complexities is only going to better your life. It's only going to help you treat you better. Like, knowing why you do the things that you do and what makes you tick is going to help you run you a lot better. Like, understanding your behaviours and why you're doing the things that you are. If you're being a little bit destructive, or you're being a little bit lazy, or you're happy. Like, it doesn't have to be negative. Like, imagine understanding that your happiness, and that you could treat happiness essentially like a light switch, that you knew yourself so much that as soon as you put yourself in that situation, you're happy. And let me make it a bit more specific, without intoxication, without any contaminants. If you could just put yourself in a situation where you was genuinely happy, you'd do it all the time. But instead of taking the time to understand ourselves to deliver the happiness, we tend to look at other sources. We look for media and distractions and all of the different elements in life that may take our eyes off the ball for a second just to give us the break that we think we all need. But really and truly, you don't need a break. Not from that anyway. You need a break from the contaminants. You need your world to get a bit smaller for a while so you can figure things out and actually understand yourself, your world, your reality. Understand things from your perspective instead of trying to live from somebody else's. Figure you out, no matter what the spectrum is, no matter what area of life it is. Figure you out first, and you'll be able to approach it far better than if you go on somebody else's word. Because it's you that's going to walk through it. It's you that's going to experience it, not the other person. And when they go through it, it may go differently. But for you, you're going to find out your own way. You're going to find out your story and how it plays out. But that's yours to learn, not theirs. And the only way you're going to better that is by deepening your understanding of yourself. The more you can understand yourself and understand how you work, the better you'll be able to perform overall. The happier you'll be, the more energetic you'll be, the better you'll feel. And I think for everybody, to be able to run at optimal is desirable. No? If you could run at an absolute 100% of your potential, would you not want to? Would you not be more productive, be happier, be more energetic, be everything more if you could perform at 100% of your capacity? There's a way to get there, but it doesn't come without understanding yourself first. So take some time to sit with you. I'm going to leave this episode there. The seed for this episode is take 5 minutes to just sit by yourself and ask yourself some simple questions. Ask yourself what makes you happy. Ask yourself what makes you sad. Ask yourself what you want from life. Just sit there and ask yourself a few questions and truly be honest with yourself. Because you never know, you might find out something surprising you didn't know about yourself. All the best, and I'll catch you on the next one.